God does not punish. God never punishes. God is good. We punish. We punish through our subconscious. Let's talk about it on today's live. All right. So, we are talking about the subconscious and how we punish and how God or the superconscious does not punish. So, don't get it twisted, right? There is good and there is evil. Okay, there is dark and there is light. Okay, God is not evil. It's impossible. Okay, so let me explain. In your subconscious learns in repetition, and in your subconscious are all of your senses. Okay, so there's two thoughts on the subconscious. If you talk to a medical professional, they'll probably tell you, well, it's a state of mind. Your subconscious is a state of mind. If you talk to a spiritual person, a person who, studies spiritual things, okay, it could be in religion, it doesn't have to be, but it's spiritual, okay? And what I'm talking about is the energy that's in here. What do you think is in here? If you think this is a spirit, if you think we're a human being having a spiritual experience, because the body and the spirit are separate, okay, so this body, these fingers, these work now. One day they'll get too old to work, and then what? Well, the energy in here remains the same. The energy in here goes, okay? But here's the thing about the subconscious, okay? The subconscious is a culmination of all of your senses. Everything you touch, everything you smell, everything you taste, everything you hear, everything you see. Okay, now this all goes into your subconscious. Okay, so how do you punish yourself? Well, you punish yourself through bad decisions. But mostly, before the decisions even take place, you punish yourself through thoughts. Some people are tormented here, and they keep getting tormented here all the time. Why? Because they're plagued by their thoughts. Okay, what does that lead to? Well, in some cases, it could lead to depression. In some cases, it leads to anxiety. In some cases, it leads to fear, guilt, shame, all of these things. All of these negative emotions. And these negative emotions happen because the subconscious is learning in repetition. And a belief is a thought you keep thinking. So if you start to believe things that aren't necessarily true, okay, fear, right? So, fear is not necessarily a fact. Fear comes from your imagination, okay, because you're thinking about something that's making you fearful. When you think about something that's making you fearful, most of it is imagined. Okay, let me give you an example. When I was young, and I did something bad in school, okay? I misbehaved in school, or my mom got a bad report from a teacher or something like that, right? So my mom was like, wait till you get home, right? This was the old days, okay? And that could mean a plethora of things. That could mean the belt. That could mean punishment. That could mean whatever, right? So on the way home, and it was a long way home, okay? It took at least almost a half an hour to get home from school. And on the way home, I was in the car, like very quiet in the back seat, right? And I was running all of these fear-based scenarios in my head. This could happen, that could happen, this could happen, okay? Now just know that the what ifs are all rooted in fear. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I get the belt? What if I get grounded? What if there's no TV for a week? These were all punishments in the old days, okay? They were consequences. Consequences to actions. And every action creates a consequence, okay? So God doesn't do this. God doesn't punish. When did God ever punish? If you're reading the Old Testament of the Bible and you do not know that the Bible is an allegory, teaching in metaphor, then you need to study a little deeper. You need to go a little deeper, okay? What the Bible is really talking about are the inner workings of the human being and how it works, okay? So the law of attraction is in the Bible. Okay, I have a host of scriptures to share with you. Mark 11:24. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer and believe that you have it, it will be yours. What does that mean? That means when you ask for something and you believe it, a belief is a thought you keep thinking this thought, okay? And you believe that you will get it, right? And that's the only key. The only key is believing you will get it. Now, when you get saved as a Christian, okay, because I know a lot of Christians, when you get saved as a Christian, you have to believe that you are saved. You have to believe that Jesus takes all of your sins, he takes all of your burdens, and you have to believe that you are born again and set free. I did this process when I was 16 years old, and I had to believe that, okay? So a belief is a thought you keep thinking. Now, if you believe that, what does that relieve you of? That relieves you of guilt. That relieves you of shame. That relieves you of all of fear. That relieves you of all of these things. Why? Because now you believe, okay, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. Now you believe that this is going to solve the problem. Now you believe that this is how you should live. Okay, so when you start believing something, your subconscious goes, oh, okay, we're doing that? Okay, got it. And your subconscious starts to give you more examples of that. Your subconscious takes you in baby steps towards your goal. So it depends on what you believe. Okay, now I know a lot of people who believe that God punishes them. God doesn't punish. We do. We do through our subconscious. Okay, we punish ourselves, we torment ourselves because of the thoughts we keep thinking. Okay, now if you look at the tree again, okay, let's look at the subconscious tree. All right, so, or let's look at the tree of life, if you will. The subconscious beliefs are at the bottom. Okay, your paradigm is the trunk of the tree. Now, based upon how you see the world and how you feel about things, your paradigm, you have the fruits of the tree. Okay, and now the fruits of the tree are your actions and habits based upon how you see things, based upon how you look at things. And everyone's perception is different. So now what happens? Well, these beliefs that you have down here form the paradigm forms the actions and habits, and then what do you get? You get results. So if you don't have good beliefs, or let's say beliefs conducive to the results you want, then you get the definition of insanity. And the definition of insanity is expecting better results while doing the same thing over and over and over. Okay? Now, most people get stuck in the loop. Most people get stuck in this loop and they go, you know, these bad things keep happening. These things keep happening. I keep getting tormented by this, that, and the other thing. You know, this drama happened and then the other drama happened and that another drama happened. Well, guess what? You're stuck in a drama cycle, okay? Because you're expecting that the next thing that's going to happen is going to end up in drama. So guess what? It does. Guaranteed. Why? Because you're expecting it. Okay, so a long time ago, back in 2007, I learned to expect that something good was just about to happen. Okay, now a lot of things already had happened in my life, but I did not understand that what I was doing was positive thinking. I didn't see myself that way. When I started learning about these things and go, oh, okay, I was always expecting that my lucky break would come somehow. And one day it just came in the form of substitution work on a radio station, and then boom, everything happened. And then after that, everything started coming. Everything got built. Everything came, right? So the reason why I look back and I go, you know, because I was trying to figure all of this out, like how did this happen? How did it come like that? How did it become, you know, what it was, right? How did it form or morph into what it became? And here's the thing, right? You can't see it when you're in it. When you're in drama, you can't see it. When you're in drama, you don't know what the cause is. You're just experiencing the emotions. You're just experiencing the drama. Okay, now how do you get out of the drama? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. But you can't be lazy. Okay, most people they write affirmations for a while and they go, this doesn't work. Okay, they write affirmations for a little while, they go, this didn't happen. That's no good. So I tried it in 2007. I tried it and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And if this does not work, I'm going to do this for 60 days. If this doesn't work and I look back and nothing happened, I'm never, ever, ever, ever doing this again, because that's just the kind of person I am. Okay. So here's the results. Okay. The results is I'm still doing it. The results is I still do affirmations every day. Okay. Now, I'm working on my new book right here, but I keep the old books to show you guys, okay? Because you need to do it. Because you need to condition your mind. Now, you can live a random life. That's fine. If you want to live a random life and you want to just react to everything that happens, then you're living a reactionary life. But if you take control, if you start using one of these, if you start taking control of your life, you can design your life the way you want it. Okay, now the most successful people in the world do this. Okay, the most successful people in your neighborhood do this. And I'm not talking about journaling. I'm talking about writing about what you want versus what you don't want, versus complaining about what you don't want. Okay, so you need to write it, you need to think it, you need to speak it, and things will change. Okay, so some people think that the only way things change is, okay, I'll go to the doctor, let the doctor fix it. The doctor will give me medicine and then I will feel better and then things will get better. No. What happens? Well, you go to the doctor and they'll give you medicine and you'll feel good for a little while and things will get better for a little while, right? Because of the medicine. But then what happens? Well, your beliefs are the same. The trunk of the tree, your paradigm, is still the same. Okay, so guess what? It's going to keep producing the same fruits, the same actions. And guess what those actions are going to produce? The same results. And so if you're in drama, and drama is what you're used to, and drama is just what happens, right? And you know, sometimes drama feels good, right? Because you get to vent, you get to spew negativity, you get to just push it all out, right? But what's the backlash from that? What's the back end to drama? More drama, okay? So what you give, you get. Why is that? What's the karmic link here? It's your subconscious. Your subconscious, because you're giving this negative stuff, you're giving this bad stuff, you're gonna get this bad stuff because your subconscious does not know the difference between fantasy and reality. Your subconscious does not judge. Your subconscious takes orders. Your subconscious goes, oh, we're doing drama? Okay, we'll create more drama. And it takes you in that direction, in baby steps to your goal, in which case that would be drama. And that's the way it works. So change your mind, change your life, okay? So many people go through life like this. This is how they go through life, okay? They're guarded, they're closed. They're closed-minded. They're not open-minded. They're not open to new things. They're like this, okay? What makes them like this? Well, drama makes them like this. Fear makes them like this. You see people walking around with masks nowadays. I saw a lady driving yesterday with a mask. And I was pulling out of my building. And she was driving into the building. And I felt so sorry for her. She was a beautiful Asian girl. She was young. Maybe, I don't know, in her early 30s or something, right? And I felt so sorry for her because, like, oh, she's in fear. She's walking around in fear while driving in fear, okay? That's no way to live. You should not live in fear, okay? Who's bringing the fear? It's not God. It's not God. God does not bring fear. God does not punish. God does not do anything negative. God doesn't even recognize negative words. So when you write an affirmation that says, I will not smoke anymore, it really says, I will smoke anymore. And you will never quit smoking like that. What you need to do is you need to write, it feels good to breathe clean air. Something like that. But nothing with a negative in it. Because when you write negatives, I see young people teaching people how to do affirmations all the time. I see it on TikTok all the time. I see it on Facebook all the time. I see these things, and they have no idea that negatives don't mean anything. Negatives are invisible to God, okay? Because God doesn't recognize negatives. There is an opposing energy. There is a negative energy, but that negative energy is best understood, okay, in the absence of good, in the absence of love, in the absence of, okay? Because people that go around doing, evil things to people are just people with no love in them. there's no love being exercised in them. There's love in them if they choose to recognize it. There's God in you. God lives in here. Okay, so there's only the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious, but God lives in here. The kingdom is within. You have the power in here. You have the answers in here. Everything is in here. Punishment is in here if you choose it. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, when you do something wrong, you know you're doing something wrong. Human beings do not need to be taught right from wrong. We were born knowing right from wrong. You can see little toddlers. They feel guilty when they do something wrong. They know that they're doing something wrong. You can tell by their micro expressions that they're doing something wrong. They don't need to be taught right from wrong. Okay, but human beings know. Now, what do we feel when we do something against someone? We feel bad. We don't feel good. Okay, you know when you have that feeling, like that uneasy feeling in you? Take a minute to think about it. Take a minute to think about, okay, what's making me feel like this? What was it that made me feel like this? When you ask your subconscious the question, your subconscious will answer you. And then you'll go, oh yeah, I did that. My intention about this wasn't good. My intention about that wasn't good. And that's how you can tell. Now, when you call that to mind, and then you understand what it was that you did that made you feel uneasy because it was negative, all you have to do is apologize. Okay, so the Hawaiian ho'oponopono is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it erases the slate, it makes it go away. It releases you from that bondage. And what bondage am I talking about? Feeling bad. Okay? Because guess what happens when you feel bad? You project bad. Guess what happens when you project bad? You get more bad. Okay? That's the karma that happens, but it's your subconscious. Kingsley, good morning. It's your subconscious that does it. Okay? So it's not a demon that does it. It's not God doing it. It's none of that. God is very real. God is in here. But you have to choose that power. It's in you. You have to choose it. You can be evil if you want. You have free will. You can be evil. You can be good or whatever. You can be dark. You can be light. You can let your light shine, or you can be a very dark individual. It's up to you. It's up to you what you want. But there are limits to negativity. There are limits to being dark. There are limits. Okay, so, below the, let's say, the average everyday household member level, there's the street. Below that, there's the prisons. Below that, there's the graveyard. That's it. That's as far as it goes. Graveyard is as far down as it goes. What's the other direction? It's infinite. It's limitless. Love is infinite. Love is limitless. It just keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. The more good you do, it just stacks on good. It just stacks on good. And what happens to you in here? Well, in here, you start feeling better. Okay? And what do you do from here? You project better. You project good. You project love. You project kindness. You project generosity. You project all of these things. These positive emotions, these positive actions. Then what happens? Well, then you start receiving positivity because now your frequency changes. Your vibration changes. Now you're vibrating at a higher level. What happens when you vibrate at a higher level? You start attracting things on a higher level. You get better jobs. You get better partners. You get better boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, all of the above. You get better friends. There's a lot of my friends. There's a lot of people that I've been friends with in the past that I can't even see anymore. I walk into the shopping center, I don't see these people anymore. I used to see them all the time, and then all of a sudden, they're gone. All of a sudden, when I go, it's like I'm the observer. I'm looking for my old friends and I don't see them. And I think, well, maybe I'm coming to the store at the wrong time. But here's the thing that's going to happen. the people that you hang with, okay, because you know that old expression, right? You show me the five people, you show me the five people that you hang out with the most, and I'll tell you who you are, right? Because like attracts like-mindedness, okay? So, but those people, the people that you surround yourself with, okay, you're there for a reason. Once you do your self-development, once you raise your frequency, once you strive for better, once you level up, so to speak, that's what I call it in my practice. I serve professionals. I'm doing this as community service every morning, but I do this with professionals. These people have a lot of responsibility. They're CEOs, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're people that, they're nurses, they're people that have high performance jobs. And these people have a lot of pressure. And my job is to relieve the pressure. My job is to show them, okay, just do this. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. And they come to me once a week. They make a budget to see me once a week. And most of them have been with me for about 3.5 years now. I have a core group that's been with me for a long, long time. People stay for a long time because they consistently get better. And I don't mean get better physically. I don't mean get better mentally. I mean their lives get better. They start attracting better. Okay, so it's a very small budget compared to what they're getting to see me. Although for some people I'm crazy expensive. For some people, you know, for professionals, I'm like, okay, just make a budget, that's easy. You know, it's easy. Oh, we have Junior, that's easy. You know, but here's the thing, it's all relative, okay? But why I'm here is so that you watching this can go, oh, that's what I have to do to get better? And I don't mean get better like yourself, although that will happen. I'm saying get a better life, get a better job, get better friends, get better circumstances. You know, I knew this girl, and I helped this girl get a new van. And I told her story here before, right? And I had her write this affirmation for 2 months, and she got a relatively new van. It wasn't a brand new van, but it was a van with 10,000 miles on it. And all she did was write an affirmation and read it out loud. That's all she did. She didn't do the other 3 pillars. Okay, there's 3 more pillars: affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. All she did was the affirmations for 2 months. Got a new van. Okay, it had 10,000 miles on it. It was a different van. It was an almost new van. But to her, it was a gift from God. And it was a gift from God. Because God works through the subconscious. God is the superconscious. There's only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Okay, God is very real. God lives in here. Okay, now for you people that have a specific name for God, or you have a specific label, okay, I'm speaking in generic terms. I'm not projecting my beliefs on people. So however you believe is however you believe. Okay, but I will tell you that whatever you call that, whatever you refer to that, or him, or it, or she, or whatever, or source, it's real, and it's in here, and you have access to it. Like that, you can change your life. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. When you start to change the way you think, you change your entire life. Everything. Okay, so after I had, you know, gotten what people call successful, I don't know what success is. You know, a friend of mine used to own all the Jack in the Boxes and Jamba Juices in Hawaii, right? And I sat down next to him one day, and he showed me his laptop, and he showed me in real time what they make, and I was like, whoa. And I asked him, I said, what does success what does this level of success feel like? And he looked at me like what? Like, he goes, dude, I just go to work. That's all I do. I just work. So he didn't know either. He's making millions and millions of dollars, and he doesn't know what success feels like. I don't know what success feels like. When I stepped on stage for my Waikiki show years and years ago in 2010, that was the goal, right? So we had a wedding and party business. The goal was Waikiki. The goal was what I saw when I was a young kid, and that was the goal. And when I accomplished the goal, I thought I was going to walk on stage and feel some kind of accomplishment. I was going to walk on stage and feel like the man. I was going to walk on stage and feel like I accomplished this. I'm at the top of Everest. I'm going to plant my flag and I'm going to enjoy this moment, right? Wrong. I got up on stage. I paid tribute to the Beach Boys by taking off my shoes and walking barefoot and singing barefoot. There's videos online. You can just search them. And as I threw my shoes off stage, and I turned and I looked at the audience and I was singing my opening number and I looked all over, we had a capacity crowd. We had the biggest crowd that hotel ever had in its history. Wall to wall people. And there was no feeling of accomplishment. There was no, I made it feeling. There was no, yeah, I'm the man feeling. I looked around and I go, this is one big baby party. This is just another party. This is just another performance. This is just, it was special for us. It wasn't a let down moment. It just wasn't the kind of moment I thought it would be. And then I thought back to one of my mentors and I go, okay, now I know. Now I know how Uncle Don felt. He just went to work every day. That's all. He just went to work every night and did his show. That was it, right? But when you're young, you look at those things like it's a big deal. When you're young, you look at those things like, whoa, it's a giant accomplishment. And then when you get to the top of the hill, so what I'm really telling you is that there's this imaginary ladder of success. It's fictitious, it's imaginary, it's in your mind. The high achievers of this world, they don't look at themselves as high achievers. They don't look at themselves as they made it or whatever. They just go to work. They achieve a lot. That's who I serve. I serve high achievers. And I help them in life with other things besides their profession in life. But the high achievers in life don't walk around looking at themselves in the mirror going, yeah, I'm a high achiever. They don't do that. They just go to work. Just like my friend said, he goes, I just go to work. Okay. Good morning, Mel. Good morning, Denise. Mel, I love your picture. Beautiful, beautiful outfit. I like that. So what I'm really telling you is when you get to the point where you get better, you get a better car, you get a better job, you get a better house, you get a better set of friends, you get a better environment, you get a better neighborhood, you get better. Okay, when you get better, it's going to feel about the same as you are now, just without the drama. And just understand that God does not punish. You are not on trial. Like, your life is not like you're on trial, okay? So stop thinking that. Okay, free yourself from here. The prison is here. This is where the prison is. Okay, I'm a jailbreaker. That's all I do. I break people out of prison all the time. As a result, we offer a 30-minute, we offer a 30-minute, like, no strings kind of session. And I do sessions all the time and help people, especially people that can't afford what my professionals pay me. But that's why I'm here. I'm here for community service. I'm here to help. Okay, Leo, good morning. Hi, Leo. Good morning, welcome. Join Mel and Denise over here. Yeah. So what I'm really telling you is a lot of these things are imaginary. Okay? Fear is imaginary. The boogeyman is imaginary. Okay? When you invent things to be afraid of, your subconscious is going, dude, come on, we're fearing, right? Or girl, we're fearing, right? We're fearing. This is what we do. We fear. Can you stop it? Oh yeah, of course. Of course you can stop it. What do you got to do? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. How many people are going to do all four every day? Very few. Very few. But those few, okay, when you look at the 1%ers of the world, Okay, that's a good example. Look at the 1%ers. There's a reason why they call them 1%. 1% out of 7.2 billion people in the world, 1%. Those people write affirmations. Those people think of what they want versus what they don't want. Big people think good thoughts. Okay, when I say big, I just mean people who have better, people that, get to that imaginary top of the ladder kind of thing, right? Those people, they think about what they want. They discuss things that they're going to do in life. They discuss goals. They don't discuss other people. They don't discuss drama. When I get together with my friends and stuff, we don't talk about anybody. I tell stories and stuff to my closest friends. Yeah, sure, we tell stories, and we laugh about it. And, but here's the thing. When you're telling a story that involves negative stuff, because I do that all the time. I tell it on my podcast. I tell stories that actually happened to me on my podcast. I faced discrimination. I went through the whole thing, the whole 9 yards, everything. Discrimination, professional jealousy, all that stuff. Okay, on a very excruciating level. There's always a sacrifice. You always have to sacrifice something to get something else. And I was always taught, and my mother still tells me, my mother's 89 years old now, and she still tells me, don't envy anybody, because you don't know what they had to do to get it, or you don't know what they're enduring to keep it, right? Okay? It's all about freedom. But the first thing you need to do is free yourself here. This is where the prison is. You have to unlock this. Okay? So if you're going around like this in life, right? If you're going around like this, you have to unlock this first. Okay? The process is relax, 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 open. Okay? And you cannot open if you're walking around like this in life. This represents closed-mindedness. This represents fear. This represents doubt. This represents, if you doubt yourself, right, you're holding yourself back. If you're in fear, right, like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I would do this, but what if that happens? Like, I would do something positive today, but what if it doesn't work? There you go. You're doubting. Now you're like this. You see? So what's the remedy? Well, first, change your thoughts. Affirmations. The more you write, the more you believe. Okay? You can say, isn't that brainwashing? No, that's brainwashing is in the negative. Okay? What you're doing is you're empowering yourself. You want to empower yourself. I have teenagers that I work with. Teenagers that their parents can't get through to them. Their parents can't talk to them. Their grandparents can't talk to them. But I can talk to them. You know why? Because I share my experiences with them. And I go, yeah. This one lady goes, wow, my son looks forward to his sessions every week. And he's 11 years old. That's very uncommon for an 11-year-old. And guess what? He's 16 and he's still with me. He's 16 years old now. He's still with me. Right? Because I motivate him. Because I show him what's good about him. Okay? Show your kids what's good about them. Show your grandkids what's good about them. Show your friends what's good about them. Instead of, what do? We're sarcastic with everybody. We razz everybody. We tease everybody. Yeah, you can do teasing, of course. Of course you can tease people. Okay, watch the way you tease. Be mindful of the way you tease. There's a lot of truth in teasing sometimes, and the truth hurts. Okay, so before you sting somebody, just be mindful that your subconscious is listening. Be mindful that your subconscious does not know if you're teasing somebody else or if you're teasing yourself. So when you keep teasing somebody else, when you keep being mean to somebody else, when you keep antagonizing someone else, right? And all of a sudden you don't feel like the same person anymore. All of a sudden you have a complex. All of a sudden you feel bad about yourself and your self-esteem starts to go down like that and you wonder why. God didn't do that. God doesn't do that. God is love. God doesn't punish. You're punishing. And you're punishing through your subconscious. And you don't even know it. Watch what you speak. Okay? You know what they say? Well, you speak something and it comes back. You speak something and it will come back and hit you. It will come back and bite you. You know how it bites you? It bites you through your subconscious. That's how it bites you. When you speak something against someone else, your subconscious doesn't know the difference. So your subconscious goes, oh, well, okay, it's you, right? You see? So what you do outwardly to someone else falls right back in your lap. My great-grandmother used to say, when you spit up in the air, it falls right back on your face. So when you're doing an action towards somebody else or against somebody else, you know, and I lived this stuff. I lived it. I did it, right? And it made me feel bad. I didn't know why I was feeling bad, right? Until I had to raise my awareness to a certain level and go, oh, okay, now I see what I'm doing to myself, right? But you have to be honest with yourself. You just have to be honest with you. That's it. You can try to lie to whoever you want to lie to, right? But when you lie to other people, guess what? You're lying to yourself. Same. Okay? So here's some verses for you people, because I get a lot of yeah, Leo, it's true, right? Leo, if you have any questions, just ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So just, I have a lot of conversations with Bible people, and they don't know. They don't have the answer. They refer to the Bible. And I go, well, what's the root of that meaning? What does that really mean? Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Why is that? It's because of your subconscious. Okay? It's because of your subconscious. A thought becomes a belief. A belief is a thought. You keep thinking. So as you thinketh in your heart, or let's say it another way, the thoughts you think the most become your beliefs. Let's go back to the tree, subconscious, right? The roots of the tree, okay? All your subconscious beliefs, the thoughts that you kept thinking that became beliefs, okay? They start to form the trunk of the tree. Now we go from the roots to the trunk, the paradigm. And this is how you see the world. And this is how you react in the world. This is how you treat the world. This is how you treat others. These dictate your actions. Your actions, the fruits of the tree. Let's go up to the fruits now, right? So you have the fruits of the tree, okay? This is the way that you act. Your actions produce your results. Actions produce consequences. Okay, now consequences has a negative connotation to it, but whatever you do results in something, okay? So thoughts become things. This is how thoughts become things. I studied under Mike Dooley. Mike Dooley was the one of the people on The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And I studied under Mike. And Mike always said two things. Thoughts become things, and the how is always God's job. You don't have to know how you're going to accomplish something. Don't burden yourself like that, because you're going to have to imagine all kinds of avenues, right? Because there's unlimited ways that you could get whatever you want. Another thing I'm going to share with you is that if you think money is the only way you can get something, you're suffering from limited thinking. I know so many young people with degrees that think they're so smart. They think because they went to a college and got validated with a degree, and they know how to do a certain procedure, they know how to do a certain profession, they know how to do a certain thing, that they're so smart. Tomorrow they're gonna be CEO, right? Wrong. That's not how it works. Okay? So sometimes, not always, it's the educated people in the world that have the most narrow minds and end up like this. Why do they end up like this? They end up like this as professionals because they know what they know and they focus on what they know. They become the best at what they know, but that's all they know. The rest is life experience, right? So, my professionals are younger people. My professionals are probably age 50 on down, right? But these people are really, really good at what they're good at. But when you understand the separation of body and spirit, And when you understand that whatever you call this in here, you can call this a spirit, you can call this energy, okay? That's what we all have in common. When it's the law of oneness, the law of one, right? Everything is connected. Everything is connected. That's how God works. So when you have a goal and you put it into your subconscious. Hi, Jay, good morning. When you put it into your subconscious, guess what? Your subconscious communicates and takes you to baby steps along the path. And it also communicates to the superconscious, which is God. If you want to call it source, you want to call it God, you want to call it Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call it, Allah, you want to call it the Most High, you want to call it infinite intelligence. Okay, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. You believe what you want to believe. But I'm telling you the superconscious is what it is. And your subconscious communicates with the superconscious. When that happens, the superconscious brings others. Everything comes to us from God through others. And the subconscious goes, okay, here's the guy that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that will get you into that XYZ company that you want to work for. Here's a person, a random person out from left field that just happens to be looking for someone that matches your qualifications and the job you're looking for, and he'll probably hire you, right? And that's why you don't have to make plans. You don't have to plan the how. Oh, I'm gonna go step 1, step 2, step 3. When I get to step 6, that's gonna be the job. I'm gonna get that job at step 6. No, God doesn't work that way. Sometimes you can take step 1, step 2, and then bam, God takes you out to left field, and what? And then you meet the right person, and they go, oh yeah, I just happen to be looking for somebody like that. The kind of job you want? Yeah, okay, what's your qualification? Oh, you're qualified. Oh, okay, well, hey, can you start Monday? Boom, you have a job. The how is always God's job. You can speak things into existence. You can also speak yourself out of certain things, okay? You know, when you use negatives, okay? Because remember now, God does not recognize negatives. But if you use negatives, you know, like I will not smoke anymore, right? Turns into I will smoke anymore, okay? So in Romans, for you Christians, in Romans 4:17, the God who gives life to the dead and calls into being things that were not. How does that happen? Through your voice. Through your voice. Okay? Speaking things into existence. I'm not good at that. I really suck at that. Nobody wants to hire me. I'm not good enough for that. You see? You see? That will work against you because your subconscious goes, oh, you're not good enough for that? Okay, well, we'll keep you away from that. And your subconscious takes you over here. Oh, you're not smart enough for that? Oh, okay, well, okay, that's not for you then. You see? But if you entertain the idea of infinite possibilities for yourself, if you are open, which is the opposite of this, okay, don't walk around like this in life. This sucks. This is terrible. I was too stupid to walk around like this, right? When I was young, I didn't know the difference. I was wide open. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's go for that. Yeah, let's, you know. And then when I started learning these things, in 2007, I had already achieved a certain amount of popularity and whatever. And I had 2 companies already. I started 2 more companies in 2010, but I had 2 companies already. I had a production company, and I started teaching people voice, how to express themselves through their voice, how powerful their voice was, and how they could sing their way into feeling better, how they could sing notes and express notes at high velocity. Even my people that don't sing, even people in my life coaching business, right? Because I, had to figure out, why are these kids so confident? What makes them so confident? And it's like, oh yeah, you're having them fire their neurotransmitters, and their endorphins and their oxytocin is being stimulated, flooding their brain, and now they're calm in their head, and now they're confident. Now they believe in themselves. Now they sing the way they want to. They're able to sing what they hear. They're able to repeat what they hear. Anybody can sing. Not everybody's brave enough to pull it off. Anybody can sing. But you have to be open. In other words, your muscles have to be able to produce the kind of energy it takes to sing a song. Or let's say it another way. If you project enough energy, let's call it energy, through your voice, your spirit, energy. I work with a lot of spirits every day. Okay, your spirit, energy. That's why people cry when certain people sing. You know, you see that powerful performance and you cry because they've touched you. Okay, because like attracts like, energy. Okay, like recognizes like, energy. But now that you can put tons of energy through your voice, okay, now a little bit of energy when you have to sing nice and sweet and soft and loving and project love-like energy, right? Then it's so much easier because you've opened the channels, because you pushed out all the negative energy with your voice, because you've expressed yourself through your voice. And guess what happens when people do that? When my clients do that, they always have an aha moment that they come back and tell me, you know, I said something to my coworkers the other day and I never say anything to my coworkers. I stuck up for myself. And I'm like, yeah, you know, because you need to. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Perks Live. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ray, good morning, Ray. How you doing? Ray Sweet. Yolanda, or Jolanda. Good morning, Jolanda. Manuel, good morning. Manuel in Belgium, good morning. So we come to you on 7 platforms this morning, 2 on Facebook. Facebook is up here. We also have another Facebook account that we come to you live on here for you life coaching. We also come to you on TikTok. We also come to you on YouTube. We also come to you on Twitch. We also come to you on Trovo. So yeah, we don't like to mention all the platforms because TikTok's algorithm is very sensitive. But anyway, but here's the good news. You can change things. All it takes to start, just start with a pen. I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident. Confidence is the key to my training. Confidence is the bedrock of my training. If I can make somebody confident, I can change their lives. And if I can work with their voice, I can make them confident. And it all works together. It's in my book, The Universal Law of Attraction and Singing. This is on Amazon. I wrote this book a long time ago, and I made it cheap for a reason. It's a $10 book. It's only 15 chapters, but the chapters will blow you away. Okay? If you want the book, let me know. I'll email it to you for free. Chapter 5, the earth-shattering carelessness of authority. The earth-shattering carelessness of authority, chapter 5. You got to read that. Okay? This lady came to me like this. She came to me like, she came walking in like this. Kind of like this, okay? She was like that up here. She wasn't like walking literally like this, but she was like that here. How did that happen? Well, when she was in college, her college professor in her music class, in her singing class, told her she should find something else to do. When I met her, she was 42. That meant from college in her early 20s until 42, she did not sing. Because when he told her that, it shut her off emotionally, like this. And she goes, okay, well, I can't sing. I gotta find something else to do. It was traumatic for her. It was an insult to her. And it also built a wall that I had to break down. And that's why I say I'm a jailbreaker, because the prison is here. Okay? So what did that mean? What did I have to do? Well, I had to prove to her that she could sing. It involved pushing energy. It involved pushing energy through her muscles. We developed the muscles that people sing with for life coaching and for singing. It doesn't matter. For life coaching, all my life coaching clients do it. They all get like very confident very quickly, like week by week by week. It's noticeable. The confidence levels increase. In 2 months, she had to leave. So I told her, well, follow up with somebody, anybody, but follow up, keep going. And I hope she's doing it now. She's probably, she's older than I am. So yeah, she's probably doing well someplace, I would hope. But here's the good news. You can do it too. The good news is that you can get scales online. You can get free scales online. You can sing those scales, sing them as strong as you can. Your neurotransmitters will fire. You'll start to feel better. Okay, so the process is sing, feel better, sing better, feel better, sing better, open. Okay, you go from here to here to here to here to here. Okay. You can sign up on the website and get a 30-minute free consultation with me. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to give you a 30-minute consultation. But if you don't follow up and do the things I tell you to do, it's not going to change. Some people love the drama that they're in. They love the struggle that they're in. The struggle is here. You hear people say it all the time. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. The struggle is here. I don't struggle. I haven't struggled for a long, long time. Why? Is it because money fell out of the sky? No. I work for everything I get. I don't work hard, but I work long. You may not have to work hard in life. You may have to work long. You know, time spent is what I'm talking about. So it's not like you have to work hard in life to achieve something. No, God is real. The superconscious is real. Source is real. Whatever you want to call that, that's real. And it's in you. It's in here. But because we have eyes, we look out there, right? So we're always kind of searching for the thing, like, okay, where's the thing? Where's the solution? You know, oh, look at him. He has money. He can do what he wants. He has freedom. He has money. Well, how to get the money? Well, I don't know. He works hard. Now with technology, you don't have to work hard. You can work long. You have to develop what you know. But sharing your knowledge and your specialty, whatever it is you're good at, online, sharing it with people is how people are going to make money in the future. The things that you see in the physical world right now that looks like everything's falling apart, it's falling apart for a reason. Because the new world is emerging and you cannot have one door open and one door not closed yet. You have to close the door and the new door has to open. You can't have two doors open at the same time. So in your life, you're going to have to let a door close before you open the next one. You're going to have to let the prior chapter come to an end before you start the new chapter. But what do we want as human beings? We want to do everything. We want the old chapter, and then we just want to fix some things, and then we want the new chapter. We want to... No, because then you're stuck like this, and you're going like this, and you can't move. Why? Because you got one hand on this door, you're not allowing it to close, and then you got the other hand on this door, and you want to pull it open, and you're not going anywhere. You're like this, and you wonder why. You're stuck, okay? You're like this. You're like that, okay? So in order to do this, you need to become open. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, okay? Now the visualization, just a quick overview. Okay, I hope I've made sense to you. I hope I inspired you. Okay, but vocalization, speak the dream. Speak your affirmations out loud before you go to bed. Okay, just speak it out loud when you're fully relaxed. Your brain is in theta state. It's receptive. Your subconscious is listening. Speak it. Okay, that's vocalization. Visualization, use your screensaver. This right here is my gratitude board. I use this the most because when I look at these things that I have, I go, wow, thankful for that. My company logo is on there. I'm thankful for the company. I give gratitude. I say thank you. Yes, Ariel. Hi, Ray. Louisiana. Yes, sir. Louisiana. Yeah, Ariel. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you needed to hear that, but you have to, yeah, you have to allow the door to close to open the new door. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be like this. One hand's on the door that hasn't closed yet, and this one's trying to open the new door, and you're going to go like that, okay? Don't be afraid to allow the door to close. That's another thing. Don't be afraid. Doors open for a reason. Doors close for a reason. Sometimes when you're keeping the door open to something, you're creating more damage to yourself than if you let the door close and open a new door. Okay, so there's that. I am Prosperity 99. All prosperity comes from your subconscious, all of it. It's the thoughts you keep thinking. It starts with your thoughts. Remember Proverbs 23:7, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's a very accurate description. Okay. I'm not here to teach Sunday school. That's not what I do. You received it? Ah, great. Prosperity happens through your subconscious, and that's why you see people who keep succeeding in life, because that's what's in their subconscious. The subconscious learns in repetition. The more you succeed, the more it breeds success. The subconscious works with the superconscious, or consciousness, or source, or God. And that's how it happens, and that's how it works. So you see a lot of people that are like uber successful. Success is all they seem to do, right? Because they have good habits. So first you think the thoughts become beliefs, the beliefs form the way you look at things, the way you operate, the way you do things. Then that dictates your actions, or the fruits of the tree, and those actions turn into results. No such thing as having a bad action and having a good result. So if you're getting bad results in life, just know that you need to change the roots of the tree first. Install new programs in your subconscious. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. Because when you're confident, you start to clear. When you start to clear, you get settled. When you get settled, you make better decisions. Those decisions get better outcomes. It's that simple. But not everybody wants to do the work. Not everybody wants to write affirmations every day. Not everybody wants to meditate for 10 minutes and be still every day for 10 minutes. That's a long time. So start with 5, work your way up to 10, okay? But not everybody wants to do all these things every day. But these 4 things take less than 15 minutes a day, but it will change your life. So thank you, Carrie Ann. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for moderating. Thank you, Perks Life. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, Onza. Oh boy, I don't know how to pronounce your word. Onaziweo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, Drew Cuddy, Savant. Yes, hi, Drew. And Vindy Indy. Yeah. Take care, you guys. Thanks for coming. You'd love a copy of my book. Okay. What you have to do is just message me and send me your email. Oh, I'm glad you're learning so much, Leo. Thank you. So send me your email, or you can go to the website. Go here. The way you contact me is here, real quick, because I have a client at 8 o'clock, so I gotta get going. But you can contact me here, and I'll show you guys where, because we don't want to say on all the platforms, but right here, yeah. And then there's a link to the website right there, and you click that, and you go to the website. If you're on any of our platforms, just click the link and you go to the website and ask for the book. And make sure you tell me you're from TikTok. So it's nice to know where people are coming from. So, okay, we will wrap this session up. Thank you all for being here. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the stream. And we shall see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It's just about 8 a.m. in Hawaii right now. We're in Hawaii, the land of paradise. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Aloha from Hawaii. Take care. Aloha, you guys. Thanks for being here. Mahalo.